All right, welcome to our special little training, Five
Yeah.
Keys to Your Wildly Attractive Website.
I
Linda
want
is
to,
going
yes,
to
I,
introduce.
I want to introduce you all to
So let's
Julia
let's
because
do our
she's
let's
been somebody that I've known for a really long time and known about the quality and value of her work, but we haven't done all that much from a partnership perspective. And so I was really pleased to be able to bring to you her wisdom, and her wisdom is specifically in the area of websites and what makes them good marketing websites
Mhm.
and good attraction websites. And she's also an amazing singer, just FYI.
In case there's an opportunity for me
Right,
to
right,
show you that
right.
today, I'll do that.
So yeah, so let's get started. And if you have any questions, I'll man the chat or woman the chat,
Well,
whatever.
let me ask you something first
Sure.
before I get started,
Yeah.
because I consider you like a total expert at internet marketing without any of the stuff that I'll mention later that they put, people that get taught marketing at corporate or whatever, they seem to do some of the same things you don't do. But so I respect your approach and how you do marketing, and always have watched you saying, yeah, that's amazing. What is she doing over there? So, and what I wanted to ask you is, so many people have so many different opinions about websites.
Yeah.
I wanted to know where you fall in on that one, and
Okay,
I'm going to
cool.
obviously share, I obviously think that they're important, obvious, or else I wouldn't do them. But where do you stand on
Like
that
just in general or as a marketing tool
as
or
a marketing tool for,
okay.
especially for your tribe?
Yeah. Well, I have a few different thoughts. I think of websites as kind of like you have to have, but you don't have to have a big fancy gussy one.
Mm-hmm.
You have to at least have something that resembles an online brochure, right? One page,
Right.
an about page, or how to, and a contact page. Like that would be sort of the
Maybe a
minimum
blog added
viable
in.
website. Yeah. Um, I and I think it needs to look good because I think that's important in terms of people's impression of you.
Yeah.
The thing that I think people get wrong is the timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about audience building and nurturing your audience and then using
Right.
that relationship to bounce off of and get people to sign up for your programs or your services, et cetera.
Right.
And so I think that a lot of times people come to the website as, well, I'm going to do my website first, and then I'll do that whole audience thing,
Then
right?
I'll figure out how I'm going to attract the
Right,
audience.
right. And
Yeah.
to me, that's back assward.
Backs
Is that something like that?
backwards.
And
Yeah.
because then you have nobody to tell about this great
Well,
great
I
new
figured
website.
that out actually. It used to seem too, I don't know, salesy or pushy to have that box that says sign up for my free thing. And I'm talking about back in the early 2000s, okay? And so back, before 2005, say, I was like, I'm not gonna. We had like a join my newsletter.
Right.
But then I started realizing, that just a website on its own without any like invitation or any kind of funnel is
Mhm.
not going to work. So when we'll definitely be talking about that today. So I came to it bass backwards myself after making websites for maybe 8 years, finally succumbing to, you have to have a freebie on here. You have to have funnel building, or else this website there's no point to it. So there's a variety of ways to do that. We can talk about that. But yeah, so you have to have an audience. That's a good, it's always good to have a platform, I think. So, but
I know
yeah,
a fella who emailed his list and growing list of coaches for an entire year before he had a website, before he had a program, before he had anything. Like that was
yeah,
his, I'm not saying everybody needs to do that, but that was
you
how,
can do that.
yeah, you can. Exactly.
I consider that if there's a landing page, I consider it a website.
Hmm. Yes.
So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I go with it. I think it's a simple website.
Mhm.
Well, but Google is a website and it's the simplest website. It just has one action that you can take, and a graphic, and that's it.
Mhm.
And it's the most popular website in the world, but it's still a website.
Yeah. True.
So thanks for offering your insight on that. I've been at, like say Shark Tank kind of thing, with JVX and
Mhm.
listening to others in the industry disparaging against websites at all. Um, but everyone who's really successful has one.
Mhm.
So, okay, well, thank you. We're gonna get
I wouldn't have
rolling.
invited my audience to
I
hear what
know
you had
you
to say if
wouldn't.
I didn't value them.
I know you wouldn't. But I think it gets confusing, and I'm gonna try to be as clear as possible about that. And if you still have a question after I do my presentation, you can, um, I'll do my best to answer. And I don't think, Linda, you can stay here this whole time, but you can stay as long as you
Yeah.
feel inspired.
Yeah. No,
But
I'll stay as long as I can. If
okay,
I have to
great.
jump off, but it won't be disruptive when I jump off.
Let's assume that it's inspiring. And so, great, some people are putting in their websites in there. Okay, well, we'll do that later as well. So let me get rolling on this. So this is 5 keys to your wildly attractive website, and I'm Julia Stege, and I'm the magical marketer. So for over 25 years, I've been creating authentic brands and wildly attractive websites for highly creative, out-of-the-box entrepreneurs on a mission. So maybe I specialize in people that are that others don't understand very easily, or that who are, highly creative, cutting edge, change makers, transformational, spiritual entrepreneurs. That's really kind of my specialty, though I really have served the whole gamut in my career because it's a bit of a long career. So today I'm going to share 5 keys to making sure your website is wildly attractive to your ideal clients so you can grow your tribe online. And I'll also share some I consider them pretty startling, before and afters of my clients' websites. And I'll be reviewing brands and websites live. So if you do want me to review your website while we're here, I'll take some time to really go into it and tell you what I see is working and not working based on, what we're looking at when we look at your site. So we'll do that after this presentation. This is for you if you have a website that's not bringing you the right people, or that's embarrassing you for any number of reasons, or that used to work but isn't working anymore and you don't know why, or you don't have a website and you wonder how to make sure your online platforms represent you and the right people. So it sort of it doesn't matter even if you don't have a business yet. When will you need to know this stuff? You will need to know it soon. So let's take a moment to imagine what we really want. I'm a law of attraction type of gal, so I like to focus, but that's also a practical thing to focus on what it is that we desire. So imagine that your website is such a beautiful, resonant reflection of you that your perfect customers get you and feel gotten by you before you've even met. And imagine like-minded souls from around the world are reaching out to connect with you and find out how they can work with you. And imagine that you know exactly how to share your business in a way that is authentic, self-expressive. You make more money because you're more attractive. That would be great. Yay! Yay! Uh-oh, but this is not happening perhaps because marketing feels like this to you. And likely it's not happening or else you would be not here. Uh, and things the marketing gurus tell you to do just don't seem right. Like, just lie a little. It'll work great. And I've had that more than once. Just lie a little. I'm like, what? They don't actually say lie, but Just tell them this. I'm like, well, but that's not true. And your website is too boring, maybe. And we'll see, maybe. And personal or generic to attract and or engage the right people. So this might be happening. And you definitely don't want people to think you're like this guy. That is a big worry that people have. I'm not even going to try to market if I come off like this guy,
Seriously.
right? And so if you tried some of these things and it didn't work, here's why. So I have my why normal marketing doesn't work for us kind of little thing here. So using traditional fear-based, like you're going to die if you don't buy this, or hyped up, like a little bit over the top, brainwashy, which some people know how to do. Marketing is too smarmy for your highly sensitive and cutting edge clients. So people figure this stuff out. Definitely don't want to hype your stuff up and then have them disappointed later. And a lot of marketing is very hyped. Okay, we know this. Marketing that's overly impersonal. Okay, so that's sort of almost the opposite. But if it's overly impersonal or mainstream, it'll hide your essence and make you invisible to your most loyal fans. So, you're trying to be like everyone else so that you seem normal. They won't see you at all. You're like not there. And then there's these overly tactical blueprints, templates, and formulas that don't have any heart. But they work, or whatever. That's what I've heard. um, and they're not designed to inspire a real connection or cause transformation. They're designed to make a sale. So there's a lot of processes that are taught in marketing that work to convert or make sales, but they don't necessarily work to inspire a real connection. But that's what your people want. So what people default to is simply describing your services and modalities, but that's boring and it won't help you to relate to your tribe or their needs. Uh-oh. And then to top it off, if you're going to use cookie cutter graphics that you've seen a million times, that will not help you express yourself or be recognized. So you'll look like everyone else. Ah! Well, a lot of times this is what people feel like when we're, talking about websites in general. So I say if you're cutting edge or you have some kind of new transformational thing or you just have a lot of integrity, you got to think outside the box. So allow me to share the 5 keys to your wildly attractive website. And these are the unique tribe attracting methods I've been using myself and teaching for over 20 years. I've been doing websites for 25 years, but it took me some time to start realizing there's a way to integrate magic in with this process. And so that's what I'm about. So the first key is having a clear, authentic brand. That's your message. That is, a way that you express your uniqueness to your tribe and inspire a connection. So it's like, what are you about? What are you about? Now, I believe that when you can confidently share your unique style and your essence, that you will naturally attract your tribe. As long as you're out there sharing, people who like you will want to connect with you. So it's your authentic self which going to attract your most divinely aligned connections, partners, and clients. So like your unique self or the thing that's maybe possibly somebody told you was strange about you. But like sometimes people are confused about what you do. I've noticed this a lot on websites and we'll look today to see. But like I thought this guy was cute. So he says, I combine 17 different healing modalities with quantum physics and a deeper understanding of how modern art correlates with an unconscious mind to create transformation. And then you're like,
And we say, huh?
What did you say? And this happens a lot, especially with my clients. So you're trying to explain what you do, you're trying to list out your modalities and this unique thing that you've put together, and they're supposed to understand why that's good. And but they don't. So what you want to do instead is like sharing your essence, as I'm saying. So I'm gonna, be talking about that a lot. So here's another example. Here's Murtis. And she had one of those, like, it took her 20 minutes to say all of the modalities she had and how they work together. And then she went to the Agape for lunch. It was like an important luncheon. She wanted to impress them. Somebody said, "Well, Murtis, what do you do?" And then she said she launched into her 20-minute speech about her modalities, and she said their eyes literally glazed over.
Mm.
And also her website was about her dog walking business. That was so so if you did a search for her, you would that's what you would find. And so then we talked about this. How did we get to her essence? Well, I kept asking her, what's most important to you? And what are you here? Why are you here on this planet? And she kept saying, I'm here to answer my spiritual calling. I'm here to help other people to answer their spiritual calling too. So she kept saying it like that. Answer their spiritual calling. And we worked out that she wants to help career women specifically, um, who are on a spiritual path. So after we put this together, we came up with Murtis Wells, the career mystic. I used metaphysical tools. So it turned out the 20 minutes was metaphysical tools that empower, basically. I use metaphysical tools to empower career women to answer their spiritual calling at work, at home, and in the world. And then when she says that, then people say, oh my, somebody was like from 10 feet away. What did you just say? So that's a big difference. Knowing how to express what you're about from the core, in a very concise, almost poetic way. And then the visuals support that. So talking about visuals, the second key, which is visual communications, or what I call vibrational visuals, is how you express your essence and attract your tribe through your authentic aesthetic. And this is completely unique. Nobody talks about this, but this is something that I've discovered over 40 years of creating aesthetics for people, is that when you create your authentic aesthetic, that is what you find beautiful, um, it naturally communicates your essence, and it also attracts people who feel the same way. And visuals communicate instantly, way faster than words. So you get the feeling, tone, and the vibe of it, of the visuals, before you ever even see the words. So sharing what you feel is beautiful is magically attracts people that are aligned with you. And you're just going to have to try it. Because there's no way for me to prove it otherwise, except for that I've been doing it and figuring it out over these past 25 years. It's rather magical and shocking in a way, but it shouldn't be shocking because um, we know that we can express ourselves with words, and we know we can express ourselves with visuals. And so, obviously you can connect with people, both kinds of communication. I think it's obvious, but somehow people just ditch the visual part most of the time, mostly because they don't understand how to do it right. Well, allow me to show you some before and after images of spiritual websites that we've done. Most of them are like pre-cosmic people, let's just say. Some of them are a little more mainstream, let's say, but most of them are spiritually inspired or transformational. And all of the websites we do are done in collaboration. with her clients. Every we meet together and create them together actually. And so watch the transformation. Stella Fleur, she didn't have a before. But like also pay attention to what do you feel like it's saying or what is it conveying to you and how instantly it conveys it. So for instance, this one I feel, and you can see what it conveys to you. It's absolutely peaceful. It's so beautiful. It's like I want to be there with her instantly. And she actually goes to places like this. Um, it's a labyrinth, actually, and that's symbolically representative of what she does. And it just feels like calm and well-being. And that's what it's meant to convey. This is a new website we're just about to launch. And this organization has been around since 1908. And they support distance healers and spiritual healers and ministers of all stripes. They support them legally and through a community and through various connection, the way they connect. And they're non-denominational. So they wanted to convey some their their essence as an organization through their visuals, which they weren't. They didn't really have visuals before. What does this convey to you? And I will tell you that what we were after is to attract a new community of a diverse spiritual community of younger people. And so that is definitely portrayed in this. And the idea is that no matter where your spiritual path is leading you, you can have a group that's together with you. This is Rich Gurman, mutual friend of Linda and myself. And boy, he was embarrassed by his website because it was real straight looking and kind of like commercial looking. And then he was doing this whale stuff. So he's protecting the ocean and um, paddle boarding and putting up videos and going viral, paddle boarding with orcas and stuff at the time. And he needed to portray who he really is. And so we use his art instead, which is his photography. They actually jump in the water and take those blue whales. Okay. That's not my first thought when I see a blue whale. Jump in! But so now you just instantly know who he is. And he loved it, so we did another one for him, his podcast now. Our Epic Ocean. I don't know if you've seen this, but he's interviewing all these really cool ocean people and environmentalists from around the world.
I love that.
I do too. I'm so glad that he's fully immersed in this.
Me too.
He's got a business partner that does all the work for his other stuff, and this is all he's doing is this podcast. It's
Nice.
wonderful. I'm so glad for him. Now look at this terrible before. She's not here, so she won't be mad at me for saying. But it just, and this we see websites like this all the time. It looks like it was done in like 1998. But now we fill the screen and your whole feeling tone is right up front center. She does she helps people connect through letters. This is, a simple, nice, straightforward, but like before it was actually doing pretty well, her blog, because of her content. She was helping people with gut concerns, and she just had really great ones. But after we redid her site so that just the colors and it's welcoming, it's
It's
clear,
professional looking.
it's professional, and then thousands of new visitors, 100 new opt-ins, and 7 new clients in the first month. And that's just by putting it up. So that was like just putting up the website,
Not driving traffic to it per
not
se.
driving traffic. No.
Interesting. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And this isn't unusual. I feel like it's a vibrational thing where when you finally show up the way you really are, suddenly the people that were waiting for you are there. They're waiting for you to show up. Same thing happened to Michelle. She was worried, but she thought she had to be super hidden out because she was so metaphysical. Um, and she was working with like schools and university libraries and stuff like that, and she thought they would not like the real her, but they did.
Oh, it's so much better.
So much better, and they get it. It's death, it's grief. You don't necessarily want standard. You really want this, you want to connect with the person who's passed on, actually. And so her sales increased by 600%. And she's able to be herself more, she told me. She's embodying herself, she told me. This one too. This was Carrie. She was a marriage family therapist. She's trying to put it in her old website like, we do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. But then you just look at it and it's like, oh. So she said, I also just want to come out more clearly as a spiritual counselor. She'll still help with marriage, but she wants it to be from like a spiritual perspective. As soon as we did this, she doubled her practice. It took like 2 months. All she did was put up the site. No marketing plan.
Wow.
I mean, I tell her, at least email it. Could you email your people? But a lot of my people are marketing resistant. You don't need to market anyways if your practice just doubles when you put up your new thing because they're waiting for her to come out like this. You see? They're there in her vibrational escrow. This is Ben Saltzman, another mutual friend.
Mhm.
And his website was terrible. Look at that. Like, can you believe how highfalutin he is and how terrible his website was?
That's wild.
I mean, he serves super high-end types.
Well,
Like,
I will say that some of us are the shoemakers,
mm-hmm.
right? The shoemakers whose children don't have shoes. Yeah, we
Yeah,
you
yeah. Well,
don't get
luckily I
around to
met
it. So
him
we
at
got
the
around to it. Yeah.
elevator at JVX, and he says, I use 9 personality types. I'm like, are you an Enneagram guy? And we just hit it off right away. And he's like, well, I need a new website. So it was just like that. One of those elevator meetings.
Nice.
But yeah, what he wanted to do was reveal how it feels to be at his events. So the design in this is more, he's a minimalist. In fact, in the end, he made me take out the yellow
Oh, too bad.
and make it dark blue. Yeah, I like the yellow. I thought it helped. And it was in the old site, so it wasn't like a strange thing, but um and it's in this person's shirt, so it all fit together. But yeah, he was like, oh, too much. So he's a super minimalist. Rich is also a minimalist, right? So you're using straight up photography to demonstrate what it is that you're about, but there's a way to do that. And then there's a way to keep everything else really clean and engaging.
I think clean is really something. I think clean is like, I hope you can talk about that a little bit more as we go
Mm-hmm.
on. But that's, in my opinion, one of the things that people get most wrong is they have a cluttered website. And the
Well,
cleaner
just
it
look at
is,
this. He thinks he's got like 4 clear boxes, but who wants to click on those?
yeah,
I mean, this is very compelling, but you might click it just because of how compelling it is that you want to know your type. But otherwise, thank God that that is not the way the site looks anymore. No, this site wasn't so terrible. This is Samira, but it's not wild. It's like super serene. And so we needed to make her a little more wild.
Mm-hmm.
And just so that you know, this photograph of her, this one is professional, okay? She had a professional photographer. I think she's actually standing on this rock with this background, but I painted in the sky and stuff, I think, how that worked. Um, but this one, this is a snapshot that she took on her iPhone. I obviously edited it. But the original photograph, and she did her own makeup and everything, is a snapshot. And people worry about, like, how can I get a really great shot? Well, the phones nowadays
Mm-hmm.
are really great at that. Okay, engaging copy. Important, right, Linda?
Yes.
Yes, you have a whole business where you're helping people with this, right? So, um, you need to attract and inspire your tribe to take the desired actions on your website through your site text. So, engaging copywriting is not like describing your modalities, as we were saying in the beginning. It's really, I found that if you can just like kind of share yourself authentically and consider that you're making a connection with a person. It's like introducing your website to somebody. It can be that simple. It can be, um, like, hey, have you been having this issue lately? Because look, I can help you with that. But if it doesn't reflect your essence or make a connection, it's not going to get great results. If it's just passively descriptive, it's not going to get great results. Also, don't trick or scare people. I'm doomed to failure. None of you would do that, though. But if you have a heart-based business, of course, you can't do that. And so our people, they want to make a real connection, and that's rare online. If you can um, write copy or provide copy that feels natural and friendly and welcoming and engaging and is not about tricking them, it's just straightforward, like, look, I'd love to help you. Um, they're going to be more responsive. So put your essence into your website content and make it uplifting, authentic, and transformational and magical, or however you are.
I don't know about you, Julia, but I always, some people think they have to write copy specifically to cover keywords, and it ends up being
Oh,
stilted and
mm.
not at all what Julia is suggesting.
Well,
I
that's
think that
that's called SEO.
it
And
is.
so if you there's a way to do SEO that doesn't just strip it of all of your personality. But often, if you just go to somebody that's an SEO person and give them your text, they will just strip it of anything unique about it. So what I've noticed with whereas SEO is concerned is that when I'm consistent in my message, so I've been using wildly attractive websites, for instance, for 15 years, I think at least is the first time I said wildly attractive website. And so if you do a search for wildly attractive websites, I come up. Now, who's going to do that? Well, only somebody that heard me say it. But weirdly, when I come up really well for the thing that's mine, and I have a number of them, that are like that, magical marketing, branding from the heart, wildly attractive websites. The list goes on in like they're called long tail keywords or multiple word keywords, phrases. When I dominate on Google for my phrases, which requires putting up a lot of content that has matches on various different authority sites, um, people find me for the phrases they actually put in. So I thought, oh, I know what I'll put up. I'll put up law of attraction marketing. So I ended up getting on page one all over the place for law of attraction marketing, but no one ever told me they'd put that in to search for me.
Mm.
But then no one still has, maybe one person in a long time. But people were calling me and said, I put in the best website designer for spiritual healers and so, some weird long thing like that. And you came up. And I'm like, whoa, I never even thought of that one. In fact, I was coming up for spiritual website design for probably a couple years before I finally realized, oh, wait, I could go into my website and consciously um, put some SEO stuff in there for spiritual website design. So now I even come up better for that.
Well,
So,
it's my opinion that, SEO has its role, but that for the most part, when you are writing your essence and using the words that your audience uses and are looking for just in a
mhm,
natural way, that it's
yep,
naturally optimized.
it's naturally optimized.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're updating it with good content, you're blogging on your website and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. And if you
I just
have
wanted to
some,
ask you a quick question,
yeah.
Julia.
Hmm.
One of Lisa is here and she wants to have you look at her website, and
I
she's got to
know.
leave by 3, or she, top of the hour.
She has
Are
to
you going to
leave
be able to
by
get to that
3.
in time? I just want to
I
answer
don't know what
properly.
time is it. My watch isn't working.
It's almost
Oh
2010.
yeah, let's do that. So I'll race to that, okay?
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm saying here is you want to be authentic so people will recognize you. A lot of marketers don't talk about being recognized. Um, they talk about how are you going to find your clients? How are they going to find you? But then how are they going to recognize you when they find you? You need to be authentic. That's my number one recommendation. So here we go, Linda. List building, key number 4. You have to have a freebie funnel, or else people will come to your website, they may look at it, they'll leave, and you'll never know who they were or what they wanted or why. So at least one irresistible freebie funnel that attracts and engages your tribe and inspires them to connect with you, even if later, because a lot of times they want to get a thing, like a book or something, before they're going to call you. A lot of people make the mistake of that your list building is just offering a consultation, but you're not going to get anywhere near as many. I've tested this before for JVs. So let's say if you say, download this free report, and then you have the same partner mail and say, get this free session. The report got 500 opt-ins and the session got 50. Still, that's a lot of sessions, but still. It's about 10 times as many people are going to opt in for something that's just downloadable versus I have to now schedule to talk to you and I don't know you yet.
Right. Right.
So you want to grow your list through your freebies, and multiple freebies is best. Here's some freebies I designed. Uh, so this is what the freebie funnel looks like. Like you have a free download and that leads into like a webinar type of thing, and then maybe a free session where you tell them about your stuff. Or it could be free download into a training, into a program directly. A lot of people do that. It could be a freebie into a session with you. That sometimes people do that. I'm going to test that with Facebook ads, freebie to a session. See if that works.
I do one step in between.
Which is
And
what,
you
the free
probably
webinar?
know, a series of nurture emails So you are starting that process of developing the relationship, and then you
Mm-hmm.
offer the free session, and then you
Right.
offer the free training.
Right.
I'm I imagine that you meant that, you just didn't include it in here, so I wanted to
Mm,
make sure that people understood.
typically, yeah, like if you downloaded this, it would say, like, let's just say off of my website or off of an ad, it will say, get your download. Here it is. And then it'll invite probably right away to a training, but it's nurturing emails that are going out. Did you remember to download your thing? Don't forget there's this free thing. It might be an evergreen webinar that you can watch. Or, it might be step 4. You can actually talk to me. So that was actually what I did with this,
Mhm.
because I have a special offer for folks on your list. If you're really serious about making your website wildly attractive and you want a deeper dive, I can meet with you privately. So I'll share with you how you do that later. It's in the letters that I've sent you as well. And finally, this is the key. Number 5 is actually a website. Okay. So the key to your website is your website, like a platform that works for you, that you can update yourself, that's beautiful, and that not that that is clean and displays your um, content in a clean, clear, easy way. Now, there are many free and low cost platforms out there. Okay, we use Divi, and I'm going to tell you why. This is a builder, it's a visual builder for WordPress websites. Um, I I have heard that Wix is improving its SEO and stuff like that, but you cannot control the design of your Wix website. You can put in graphics into their themes, but you can't like have a programmer customize it to your design. Divi is a beautiful visual builder that allows you to organize your content easily yourself, even possibly build a website if you're somewhat tech savvy. It's easy to update and change yourself, but you can have a programmer also fix some of the things that always go weird in a website. Because a website, just think about it, a website has to look good on a big desktop or a tiny phone and every size in between. So that's why most graphic designers don't design websites. They much prefer to design a poster or a book or something like that that's like not going to change once it's somebody's looking at it. So if these guys created your website, you might have a trouble. I just thought these guys were funny because they're doing that Spock thing, and so then they're like a Star Trek guy, and they're saying resistance is futile. You go to these guys, and they know how to construct a website, but they do not know how to guide you on any of those things I told you. Not design, not content, not anything. All right. So if your website's boring, we're going to look at Lisa's first. But don't forget to download and use your magical website checklist that you got. Download this and use it. It's basically a checklist to help you go through your website and determine what is working and not working, and how to start attracting people by making it more authentic and making it better for you, making you like it better. All right, here we go. My intention here is to bring clarity, ideas, brainstorming, and next steps for you if you want me to review your website. Now, if you really want me to meet with you privately, I have a limited number in my calendar that is available, but you can go to magicalwebsiteanalysis.com and fill that out, and we can meet privately, especially if you know that you're ready to seriously upgrade your site, which is going to require an investment no matter whether you decide to work with me or with anyone or even doing it yourself. But if you're ready to invest in your platform and reveal who you are and attract the right people and be proud of your website, then I absolutely encourage you to go to magicalwebsiteanalysis.com and fill in your little form there, and I'll get in touch with you. So,
I have put Lisa's web address in chat for you.
oh, great.
meddevcoach.com.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, we'll look at that one first, Lisa. Let me share that when it comes up. All right, so I'm going to preamble this. Anything that I say is not personal. Do you give me permission to say what I need to say without offending you or anyone here?
That's for
I
you to
have
answer, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa. Do I have permission to say what I need?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So, and you promise not to take anything personally, right?
Correct.
It's a website. It's not you that I'm talking about. Okay. So, now, do you know what platform you're on, Lisa?
WordPress.
Okay, so this is an old WordPress theme.
It's actually, I did it in 2013 with a developer, and then in 2020 we redid every screen, everything. So it's
Okay.
been updated just 2 years ago.
So you updated it within the same structure, though. It's an old theme, but it's clean, you know. So what do you, first of all, are you attracting clients on this site?
Yes. I'm attracting clients to sign up for my, not so much to sign up for my uh, motivational messages, but I am attracting people to sign up for a free mini consult with me. And that's positive.
That's good. Do you know like how often those are coming through? That's good. And even if you just had a few a month, that's still good to be coming just
That's
passive.
when I get a few a month, but I've had clients, people turn into clients from those few months. Those people are really looking for me, and when they find me, they want to work with me. So.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about your website?
Well,
So,
like I said, I know that it attracts the people that I want to attract. In fact, a corporate client, which I haven't dealt with corporate, came through this website. We went through a whole process from me, and yesterday they signed up 2 people in their company to be clients. So it works. I just need to get more people in the pipeline.
mm-hmm.
What else I can do to improve the site?
Well, you know, I'm reticent because, see, if a site is working, it's kind of like, anything you do to it could change. You have to know what the factor is that they're responding to before you can change it. So my feeling is that you, similar to when I was pointing out Ben, he had such a compelling quiz thing, it was probably working, but the design was terrible in his case. In this case, I would say it's strange that this banner is so small. But I think that your message is speaking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Are they downloading the free tips to climb the corporate ladder?
Not as much as I would like, but they are signing up for
So
that.
somehow they're reading this, they're getting past this, and they're going to the mini consult.
Mm-hmm. The mini consult's mentioned 3 times on the first page.
I see. So they're reading the content.
And I put my book out there so they know that I'm a published author.
See, I feel like this copy here ought to be up higher on the page. Are you ready to move forward after a career transition? Because especially if they're not opting into this stuff, but they end up reading this stuff.
Right.
Typically we like to address them,
First.
but I wouldn't use this as your coach. I will help you. I would put something like about climbing the ladder or whatever, or, I would probably put that in here. I absolutely feel like that the visual aesthetic could be improved on this website. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh.
Okay, what visual do you think need to be improved?
Suddenly, I'm not able to do anything on this screen. Hold on a second. Okay, I have to use my finger. My mouse doesn't work. This, like, entry screen here,
Mm-hmm.
it's clean, but it's not effective. So here are the steps that I would take. I would look at how many people are visiting the site. So you can look in your analytics, and if you don't have that, I would add that.
How do you look at analytics?
It depends on, you'd have to ask whoever created your site. Or you can go, it's possibly if they put Google Analytics on your site that you could just go to Google Analytics. Something's going on with my screen. But there you can just go up to Google Analytics and see, but I would ask your programmer if you have one. Or a VA. Do you have somebody that helps you?
I have a programmer that I work with.
Yeah. So I would ask the programmer, how do I find out how many people are visiting the site? And then count how many people are visiting the site, how many people are downloading this freebie, and how many people are signing up for the mini consult. And you might as well, how many people are watching the video, because you can count that. And if there's any other action on here, those are the main ones. So before I did anything with this, I would find out what's happening.
Okay.
Since it's already working, about 90% of the people that I speak with, the website's not doing anything for them at all.
Okay. No, I've definitely got
so,
clients. I definitely got clients from this website.
Yeah. And so, I think that if I had my drithers with this, I would create a banner that fits right into this area here, this white area that has your banner, the picture, and the download, and I would just make it more cohesive.
Are you talking about between MedDev Coach symbol and Executive Coach?
I'm talking about this banner. Are you frustrated at your attempts? Plus empowering medical device professionals, plus tips to climb the corporate ladder, plus sign up for my monthly motivational and download now. All of that possibly in one banner instead of 5 different pieces of content. To make it more unified.
Are you talking about putting it up to the top or leaving it there but combined?
I'm talking about creating it as a unified graphic.
Underneath the navigation.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, the top part up to the navigation, right now you'd say that's fine, and then you'd create a banner underneath that had all of those pieces in it.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, Lisa?
Yeah.
That's where I would go with it. But they often now have these, they're called modules that like fit there, right? and you can put a photo in the background and then text over it in a button, and it just brings it all together. Right now, this is difficult to consume because it's a little bit piecemeal. And empowering medical device professionals isn't big enough, I don't think. Because I skipped it. I missed it before, and I forgot that that's what this is.
So
That sounds like a tagline almost.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. I work with.
It's medical
Right.
device professionals. It's not just anyone. But
Right.
there it is. It's in there. I just am not seeing it because
I
of
would-
how many elements there are.
Right. But maybe it could go under the logo, replacing.
Well,
the
I think
existing.
that it could be. I think that that could go with the logo perhaps, but the "Are you frustrated medical device industry?" blah blah, that sentence, if it were not competing with everything else on the page, I would read it better, you know?
Right.
And possibly the visual would be like clearer that it's about medical device industry.
But if you see the top left, it says MedDev Coach, and right
It
under
does.
it says Coaching Medical Device Leaders. So I'm saying it from the very.
I know, but nobody looks at that or reads that. I'm just saying, it's a logo, and you just look at it and say, that's the logo.
Right.
And then we look at the right, and it says executive coach and motivational speaker.
Right.
So the things that you've got red text in Helvetica, and we don't know what med dev means, like they might.
The right people would know what
Right, people would know what that is, but I'm just saying that if you have too many elements competing with each other here. So cohesive.
Okay.
So I can't. Oh, whoops. Okay. Something has been going on. My mouse is suddenly dead. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just dead. But I can use hopefully my finger to do things. Love technology. So Lisa, did you have any other questions about that site?
When I do go on to Google and do Dev Coach, MedDev Partners, MedDev, anything, I come up number one on Google search.
Great.
So I mean, I'm happy with that. I just really wanted to bring more people into my Linda.
Right. So that's why I'm saying find out how many people are visiting. For instance, let's say you have 1,000 people visiting your site in a month, and you see that 25 people are opting in and 3 people are scheduling with you or something like that. Then okay, that's different than if 10,000 people are visiting your site and 25 people opted in and 3 people, right? So suddenly our numbers look much worse if there's more people visiting and fewer of them are actually interacting. So, but also if you have 30 people visiting your site and 20 people opted in and 3 people, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
In that case, I wouldn't change a thing, right? I don't care if Julia thinks it's could be prettier. If it's working that well, I would just increase the visitorship to the site.
Okay.
But if it's like if it's not really converting, then you want to look at how to improve the conversions on that site. But it's hard to know until we know what's actually happening on there.
Right.
And
go ahead.
well, my first thought is make it more cohesive looking. That'll help them to read it better. It's cleaner, everything goes together better.
Okay, and just one last comment. On the bottom, it had 4 testimonials on there.
Yeah.
There is a page full of testimonials for speaking, for coaching, and as an author. So I just, on the first page, when I put the testimonials, I bolded certain aspects of the testimonial that I want them to see.
Okay.
Just wondering if it's worthwhile to do that to the actual sections that say testimonials and go in to
Well, you
every.
might as well, like, this is the thing. Once you know what's happening on the site,
Mhm.
then you can try these things. Like, okay, let's create a cohesive banner, or let's fix this part where I'm not really emphasizing the session, or and see if you start noticing changes. And that's basically how you can test it.
Okay.
Typically, if it's not working at all, we just go in and just, overhaul
Right.
everything from
I don't,
scratch.
I don't want to do
But
that.
you don't want to do that. Absolutely not. When it's working at all, you want to know why it's working, and you want to know how well it's working. And then you start doing the improvements from there.
Okay. I'll
Okay?
get with my developer later today. I'm sorry I have to run. I have a 3 o'clock call, but
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate you taking a look at it. And Linda, thank you for coordinating this. And
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Thanks, Lisa.
Good
I
luck.
have to keep muted because I've got hammering.
Okay. Great. Okay. So we wanted to do Victoria.
Yes.
And let me see if I can get to your
It's not
website.
metaphysical. It's not emotional. I'm not happy with the marketing and it doesn't reflect me.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It's targeting retailers, but there's nothing that says me.
Okay. Hopefully I can get on here. Dials.
You got the address,
Yes, I do. I just don't have a mouse, but I have fingers. All right. So what I'm going to do is share. Okay. So you don't like your own site. Let's just say what's working about the site.
Okay.
Just right away, it's just a clean site. Okay. It's using a modern theme. It's not, you have, this is this thing that I was trying to talk to Lisa about. It's like a cohesive banner, whether you like the photo or not. It's
Mhm.
cohesive, and it's clear what you're saying. Okay. You're
Okay.
increasing your revenue, but I'm still not sure whose revenue you're improving.
Okay.
Because you're not addressing a specific client.
Okay.
And this is what we do, but we don't. It's a little generic. Okay, that's I think what you're saying
Yeah.
is that it's a little generic. Do you have a clear sense of who it is that you're serving?
Yes. I am serving retailers who are getting traffic, but people are leaving too soon. And they're not repeat customers.
Okay, so they're retailers.
Right.
So
It doesn't say retail
it
anywhere.
doesn't.
I just
And
realized
she
that.
doesn't even look like a retailer.
Okay.
I think there's a way to do this, where you're kind of showing better about who you're dealing with, and then your message needs to be, I see. See, all I saw was this at first, this
Mhm.
guy, and then, but I don't see that, which is a storefront. That's
Okay.
an online store there, right? So maybe even that image somehow without so much this guy.
Okay.
But that's just one possible image that you just happen to have here. But
Mhm.
still, that might be better up there because at least it gives you that mental image of, you know, the shopping cart.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe this should go above what we do at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I like to have the website, whoops, where did it go? Okay. The way I like to have the website structured
Mm-hmm.
is at the top to really capture their imagination with the graphic
Okay.
and possibly some of the words, right? But like really obvious. And I don't mean overly literal, but
Mm-hmm.
to where it's the feeling tone of where you're going or representative. So right away they know it's about them.
Okay.
And then the messaging needs to be revised. So possibly it's the messaging first,
Mm-hmm.
but like the page, so I was just saying like the page would have like a graphic and then it's addressing the people and identifying what makes you different and uniquely qualified to serve their issue. And it's more about like helping them than it is about describing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're saying we can help you with, it's more about you. Do you see that?
Okay.
Even how we do it is, I
I
mean, all
see.
this stuff is fine. It's just we're leaving at this point. We're
Yeah.
bounced off
Okay.
already. We are not even going to get to that part.
Yes.
I mean, if you just wanted to do something today to fix this,
Mm-hmm.
I would just put retailers ready to increase revenue,
Okay.
online retailers maybe,
Yes.
or ready to increase your online retail revenue. How about that? So at least
Uh-huh.
start there and then maybe like that other photograph instead of this one.
Oh, okay.
Like since you already have it,
Mm-hmm.
just that alone will help identify what you're about to the people.
Okay.
If I were working with you, I think I would start with the clarity on the audience
Mm-hmm.
and what is it about you, like your specific retailers, because there's too many of them you can't just talk to every one of them.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, there's a
fashion.
total difference between like, um, let's say a mom and pop hardware store that's putting up their new website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to sell some stuff online versus an eBay like mitten knitter, you know, that's got a selection of knitted mittens. I don't know why I made that up. But
I
and
mean,
then
now that oh, go ahead.
you know what I'm saying, like or they're like selling a bunch of other things that other people, you know, like they're affiliate. I'm just choosing three radically different types of retailers, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be fashion retailers, and I just
Oh my
realized that the
gosh.
image is not of a fashion
It's
retailer, it's of a
no,
flower shop,
it's
which is totally
that's
off the
terrible.
wall.
No, it can't be that image then. So, but like, so then it's not even, so it's, okay, so it's fashion retailers, but even there, there's segments of that population that are going to
Right.
respond to you more.
Okay.
So, yeah, if I were working with you, it would be starting with the brand.
Okay.
That's what I would call branding. The
Mm-hmm.
actual structure of your website, it's not bad. I mean, you could, if you had the right branding and the right, you know, verbiage.
Messaging. Yeah.
Verbiage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's the story with your logo?
There really is no story with my logo.
It just, so it's not a bad logo. It just doesn't have any personality.
Right. Well, there's no personality to,
So that's the secondary thing. So the first part is
okay.
putting the personality into the brand message, I think, though
Mhm.
lately some people have been telling me they want to do the visuals first. I'm like, okay. But
Okay, but
it
this is more
seems like
messaging.
clarity on the messaging, real clarity around, because like I said, step one, brand clarity, right? Like, who are you serving? Who are you
Mhm.
uniquely qualified to serve? Who's like, you're better than anyone else to help them, because they're not just retail, but they're retail with something. I don't know what it is, okay? It has
Okay.
something to do with you. And then to actually address them. So it's, I mean, if you had like the headache example, right? Got a headache? Here's some aspirin, right? So it's kind of
Mm.
like, got this challenge? Here's the answer, right? So you have it sort of started here, ready to increase your, revenue, your online, whatever we decided to call it. Um, but see, you can't jump right into, I have the solution in like here.
Okay.
There needs to be a little bit of a conversation, I think. Okay, so it might
Mhm.
not happen right here on the banner, but I think there's a way to capture the uniqueness, the personality of what you're doing in that message there, in the
Mhm.
picture, and then as you're going down to start addressing your clients more, um, and being more interesting in how you share what you do.
Okay.
But the structure of the website is not bad.
Okay.
It's like a nice clean website, and website is like restructuring a website can be expensive. And so
Mhm.
that's not where I would that's not where I would invest at
Okay.
first. I would invest at first in getting my message and my visual aesthetic, and then integrating it into this website. And then later, if I find that the website doesn't hold up to my new brand, then that's when I would redo the website structure. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, it does.
I mean, it's because you have the big banner spot right here. That's
Mhm.
my main concern. And you have the place where the logo goes. On the secondary page, all you have is the logo. If you change the logo to be more in your personality, automatically those subpages are going to look better.
Okay.
They're going to have more personality, right? You may change your font. That's not that hard to do. You may
Mhm.
decide that your headings are, you design something into the banner, and then the headings are going to use that font, and it suddenly changes the whole thing. Or you may not have these like little things
Okay.
because they may not match your brand, right? So instead, you would
Right.
have other graphics that more match your brand that are in there, and all of a sudden the whole page changes.
Yeah, I see now, looking at it, that the little icons have nothing to do with my audience
Right, and you should be in there.
or
The
me.
photo of you should be in.
Okay.
I mean, they have to be able to identify you in some way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Hey, Gal.
Victoria, if
Yes.
you would like to connect privately and talk more about
Mhm.
this, or how I could help you with it, just look at the email and reply to that, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. What did you want to say, Linda? Did you have to? take take off?
First of all, good feedback. I've really enjoyed listening to these conversations. I kind of overstayed how long I could stay, so now I have to
Yes, I
run.
hear you.
But I wanted anybody else who's here to, use this opportunity that you have right now to get some first eyes on your website if you have one. And if not, then definitely reach out to Julia for, creating an amazing website from the start, from the ground up. That would
Yeah, from
be
the ground
a
up.
terrific experience. But
And
I
we
wanted to thank you.
actually have great, I mean, we have great prices. I'll just have to tell you that, I still have in my heart the people that are sort of starting up. And so we make it as affordable in comparison to others in the industry for sure.
Awesome. So
All right,
I'm going to say goodbye, but you all can stay on. And Julia, you just, end when you're ready to end and whatever, but take
well, those
advantage
were
of
the
this if you
two that
can.
emailed me, was Victoria and
Yeah.
Lisa.
I
But if
I
there's
asked here
anyone
if
else,
anybody
yeah,
else wanted to take you up on it, and I
yeah.
haven't seen anybody say yes. So maybe everybody's at ground zero. And that's
Julia, what's your website? Is it Magical Marketer?
It's magical-marketing.com. And
Okay.
I don't want to hold you any more, Linda.
okay. Bye,
I will
everyone.
make sure everyone is addressed. Thanks so much. And I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
sending out the recording so that people can see.
Oh, okay.
Um, that would be just Jacqueline or Louise or Iris. Any of you have a website or something or question about getting a website or anything like that? Any chance? If not, no worries. But if you did, now is a good time to ask. Otherwise, you know how to get a hold of me through the email, and I'm also gonna you have to let it sink in, okay? All right. So I will be this recording will be downloaded in the next hour. I'll be sending that out. So Victoria and Lisa, if you want to look at me reviewing your site again, or anyone here wants to look at it again, or the people that registered and weren't able to come here live today can have a chance. But to reach me, you would go to reach me privately, you would go to magicalwebsiteanalysis.com and put in there Lisa sent, Linda sent you. I keep
Okay.
mixing up Lisa and Linda today. I don't know what's going on with my mind. Okay.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure. And take care. And I hope to hear from you again soon.
I've got a lot to think about.
Yes, you do. I would love to help you with that though. We should talk if you're interested because just even starting with the brand part
Okay.
can make a
Yeah, I'm
huge
feeling okay
difference.
about the tech, but it's definitely the brand and everything else that
That's right. The
is
tech does look
horrible.
good. It does. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice and clean and it looks fine. And you can put your more, matchy stuff to your personality as you
Mm-hmm.
create it into that platform and it'll hold it fine.
Okay. Thanks
Okay.
again.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.